Hi, my name is Bethany Rivers and I have been a published writer since 2003, and I've been teaching and mentoring creative writing in groups and one-to-one for over 15 years. I'm particularly interested in grief and healing journeys because my father died when I was a child, and as a result of that I've spent decades discovering poems that speak to me, soothe me, inspire me. And I've developed all sorts of tools and techniques for writing about my experience of grief and my journey through it. Some of these poems that express my grief and my healing journeys have been published. I've facilitated many workshops over the years on fostering positive mental health and expressing grief through reading and writing. I'm very, very passionate about enabling others to express their grief and be creative in their expression, because I believe very much in everybody's innate ability to be creative and to grow supportive communities so we can help and listen to and validate each other. In particular, it's important to me to help people know that their journeys of grief do not have to happen in isolation, that they're not alone with whatever they're feeling. Grief needs to be shared and witnessed in order to find release. The poems you're about to hear are written by participants from two courses I ran, Mindful Words for the Bereaved, in partnership with Edward's Trust, which is a family bereavement charity in Birmingham, and it was funded by the Arts Council England. Everything in this booklet is written from the heart in order to connect with your heart. It was a 6-week course. We played with words and explored several poems from established poets as jumping off points to inspire our own individual and creative expression and to bring comfort during those dark days. The idea was not to understand or analyse a given poem, but to see what images and feelings were resonant for each person in that present moment, and then allow themselves to be led by that, dive deeper into the words and see what it is their grief wanted to say at that time. I'm delighted to introduce some of the poets reading their own work from the booklet, and the booklet is called Connecting Hearts, Poems for the Bereaved.
Security blanket. Numbness, a blanket I wrap myself in, shielded from what is and will never be again. Sensing the threads unravelling, telltale holes appearing in the weave, I thread another smile to patch my grief.
The light of hope. Submerged in murky depths, with no light to guide me forward, drifting, darkness, heavy water, being carried away by the current of loss, grief, memories, tears. Yet slowly I begin to drift towards a rock, strength, safety, something to hold on to. I begin to sense a chink of light in this murky wetness of tears. My head begins to lift up out of the swirling torrent. I open my eyes and cling to the rock, stability, strength, safety. I can hold on to my future. My body still lies in the water until it is safe to emerge. My mind, above water, begins to sense the light of hope. I can start to swim to shore. By Helen Berg.
and still the marigolds bloom after rooming. Bereft is a word without sides, a bottomless well where unfathomed depths beckon me down and down to plunge deep within the unsayable absence of you. And still the marigolds bloom. Dismembered memories echo in the dark, splashing drip upon drip, somewhere out of reach. Erecting a wall around the well, I slump at a distance, safe from all that would drown me. And still the marigolds bloom. Shards of conversations lost in time, recorded into lines on the palms of my hands. My bones ring with the ache of that last hug. The silence of your goodbye is deafening. And still, and still, and still the marigolds bloom.
After you died. After you died, I bought you a boxer. It was always your favourite breed. We'd had a black Labrador, a golden retriever, had even adopted a boxer crossbreed who turned out to have no boxer DNA. After you died, I bought you a boxer. You loved their cute rubber jowliness and squishy kissy faces, their tigger-like bounciness, boingy and boisterous, the way they attached to their owners. After you died, I bought you a boxer. I wanted something cute like a miniature labradoodle to sit on my lap and cuddle, something non-shedding, good with the granddaughters, something to bring back a smile. After you died, I bought you a boxer, found her to bark at house guests as if each were a burglar, terrorise children, pin a puppy in the park, yank on her lead till I fall over her, stand on the dining table to patrol our street through the window. After you died, I bought you a boxer, looked up boisterous in the dictionary, found unruly and racketiness, found the auditory effect of loud and constant noise, a turbulent and stormy state of the sea. After you died, I bought you a boxer, found her to cling like a webby spider, sit on my lap stubbornly, crushingly, smush her snotty face to my cheek, leave tiny white hairs all over my t-shirts, and press the full weight of her onto my chest so I cannot catch a breath. After you died, I bought you a boxer. She's all that you wanted, comedic and high-spirited, with snuggable chops that vibrate as she shakes her saliva. She sits on my feet so I cannot leave her, protective, albeit overly, but once she saw off burglars for real. After you died, I bought you a boxer. Maybe I thought you'd come back to claim her, tame her, let her wrap her paws around your heart-beating, breathing body, make you come home and stake your claim on her side of the bed.
A blessing for the bereaved. May the warmth of the welcoming sun thaw your limbs and unknot your shoulders. May the balm of aromatic herbs quieten the turmoil of your thoughts. May the strength of a willow bowing in a storm bring you to a morning of peace. May the understanding of the undulating rhythm of existence sustain you. May the gentleness of a feather lifting on the breeze ease your way. And may you arrive at last unfettered, in the company of those you thought lost, but embrace once more.
Becoming a Tree, after Joy Harjo. Some things on this earth are unspeakable. A person not showing love for their child, a child not feeling much when their parent dies, the numbness of neglect, the wasteland of the soul. I am a woman longing to be a tree planted in the moist, dark earth, deeply rooted, fed, watered, but most of all, at peace and loved.
A secret hidden. I have you, a secret hidden inside my heart, an ever-present bittersweet. Your quirks and laughter, that cutting wit, the recurring trumpet theme, your struggles and bleakness, the obsessive passion of your enthusiasm, car-driving conversations and walking words, the flare of nostrils and a whistled tune, your flaming temper and red-headed extremes, the sweetness of a smile and hug. I have you, a secret hidden inside my heart. Your life held with me a joy, the cherishing of you, the knowing of you, the accepting of you. I have you hidden, a secret inside my heart. The unfathomable choice, an unsayable absence, but I have you hidden, a secret inside my heart.
Red becomes green, then fades. I wish there was a word for the last time I saw you. I wish there was a word for you not recognizing me dressed in PPE, a plastic-wrapped personal ensign. I wish there was a word for trying to encourage you to eat fortified mush. I wish there was a word for how cold your hands and feet felt in an overheated room. I wish there was a word for how kind the staff were when washing you. I wish there was a word for the thirst I felt sitting next to you, unable to remove my mask. I wish there was a word for not getting to you in time. I watch the blackbirds fly back and forth, feeding their young, the day after you have gone. I wish there was a word. An extract from House Shells. 1. Driving through Bosnia when my daughters were young, one summer holiday, I saw charred rafters sticking through a burnt cottage to the sky. Green and quiet was the land, rolling lowland fields, windows of scattered houses bricked up and blind. That was some years after the war. The tourists were coming back. For some years I kept on my iPhone another ruin, this photo of a palace shell on the shores of Lebanon. I could hardly bear to look, and one day, suddenly, I deleted it. Those were the years when I travelled a lot, visiting my mother in her dying of dementia. I lived south, she lived north, in our childhood home. 2. Months after her death now, most days I jot words, fiddling with opposites, sunlight, cellar, and there it is again in my mind, Zineb Sedira's beautiful gutted house shimmering like a mirage on a desert road. Nameless though, because I'd wiped it out. Back then, that day I wanted to not feel. Now, like a craving, I hunted that image down through old iPhone files, USB keys, struck lucky in the memory bank of an old laptop. There it was again, but not the same. Just a lost monument, dark sandstone, cement casing showing through palisaded window balconies, peeling walls. The trance of pain had lifted. Looking at Zineb Sedira's decayed shell, my heart said nothing at all. I suppose those gaping window apertures let in the sough of the open sea and some of the freedom of those long, tough dune grasses that grow salt-burned and wild, turning to hay in the sun and wind. I could not see the leprousness I'd wanted to rub out, to expunge a contagion of loneliness when I deleted that image before. No mutilated sightlessness of a living creature, only harmless frames, window spaces, sky. This is 8 months after my mother died. I'd lived through that moment. I'd always wondered if I'd survive. 3. Can we say time, like snow, piles up in silence, and the mounting drift heap of memories with infinite gentleness disappears all we ever were? Only in the heart, remembering how dense and many-layered is the stillness, the absence and the endless opening out, our lives that are gone.
Sacred Waters, Janie Walter. May life continue to flow in a way that brings joy to me and others. A solo performance that soon becomes a whole concert hall of unforgettable harmony. Fountains of light filled loving droplets and showers. Bathtubs, their sweetly perfumed bubbles forever easing the pains and stress, like the sacred, secretive natural waters that I know are always there. Am I just scared to jump into those places that deeply call to my soul? Am I forever sitting on the edge of that bathtub, willing my feet to tiptoe gently on the surface? Sacred waters, I don't want to disappear anymore. I will take part in that hitchhiker's guided tour of the galaxy and do my wild swimming bit where no one else has ever been before.
Dad, blocking and connecting. On Thursday, I block the constant smell of wine on your breath. On Sunday, I block the tears of all the forgotten birthdays. On Tuesday, I block those heavy feelings of sadness you carried. On Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, there is nothing to block. On Monday, I connect with our deep attachment to dogs. On Tuesday, I connect with the joy we experience from watching the sea. On Wednesday, I connect with the richness of Greek mythology. On Thursday, I connect with that sense of fun, sailing on the river. On Friday, I connect with a deep compassion for those on the outside. On Saturday, I connect with our pleasure in friends. On Sunday, I connect with our connection in our passions. Underneath nothing is something. I am smiling again. From the deep, dark abyss of grief, I am starting to ascend towards the sun. From the debilitating numbness of grief, I am starting to feel and walk again. From the ripping out of my heart, I am starting to beat again and find a new rhythm. From the shock and fright of you leaving us, I am starting to see you and smile again. From knowing that I will never feel or hear you again, I am starting to realize that you are always with me. I am starting to see you and smile again.